My favorite time when we have a little time to sit and rest, take a little snack in.
Hey everyone, welcome to Aegis Moto Adventures and welcome back to the channel. Hey, today we're ending on our last day here of our Bike Week Loop that we did, and we'll be heading back to Southwest Florida. So we'll get started here. We got not a super long day, but we have a few more miles today than what we've been doing. So we're gonna hit the highway here. This morning we head back west on State Route 100 before turning south on State Road 11. This is going to get us in the general direction that we want to go. We ride into just a little bit of fog this morning, but that will quickly burn off as the sun gets higher in the sky. By the first part of March, the temperature here in Florida is already starting to get back up into the mid-80s, and with higher humidities, it can make for a little bit of a sticky day. Eventually, we turn west on Highway 40 until we get to the town of Barberville, and there we turn south on US 17. As we continue to roll south, we go through the small town here of Haines City, Florida. At the suburb of Lake Monroe, we cross over the St. Johns River. We'll be ducking underneath Interstate 4 as we head towards downtown Orlando. Surprisingly, going through Orlando on 17 is much easier than the Interstate 4 corridor. That is just brutally slow and busy most of the time. The town of Lake Mary is like urban sprawl for Orlando. In another 3 to 4 miles, we will be in the city limits of Orlando.
My favorite time when we have a little time to sit and rest, take a little snack in.
With Gord coming from Canada, he's not quite acclimated to the higher temperatures that we have here in South Florida, even though he winters here. So the heat gets to him just a little bit more, just like the cold would get to us as if we went up north. But taking a little bit of a break and getting something to drink to cool down before heading out again really helps. We ended up riding right past the Orlando Museum of Art. There were a couple of school buses there, so I'm guessing some children were on a field trip. I'm sure they had fun at the Museum of Art. I was unfamiliar with the surface streets in Orlando because I've never spent much time in downtown Orlando, but I'm fairly familiar with Kissimmee. So when we got to Kissimmee, I knew exactly where we were going without any type of GPS navigation. I'm quite familiar with the streets, and that helped out just a little bit for us to be able to shortcut. Here we are in Haines City, Florida. We're now past Orlando and south of Kissimmee, and the road gets a little bit easier from here once we get past Winter Haven. We stop at a restaurant in Lake Alfred and rest up and cool down a little bit before making our push further south. Here we are in Winter Haven. Once we get past Winter Haven, it's pretty much wide open road the rest of the way to Punta Gorda. We ride past the Valmont factory. They manufacture concrete utility poles. Concrete utility poles have proven themselves to be more durable during hurricanes and are slowly replacing wood poles, especially on main lines. As you enter Fort Meade from the north, you go by this beautiful park on the west side of US 17. In Arcadia, Florida, Gord splits off from the group and heads to his house. He'll unload Sumo and then meet up with us later in the evening. We continue on our trek towards Punta Gorda. Passing by the Punta Gorda Airport signifies that we've made it back safe and sound. Here's Gord with our final day's ride map information.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the conclusion of day 7, or as we called it, the transit home once and for all. Loaded up with laundry, we left Daytona Beach this morning and rolled out and intentionally stayed off the interstates and stayed off the main thoroughfares, so we worked some of the back roads. We did manage to sort of meander our way through both the urban part of Orlando and sort of poked our way through Kissimmee on the way through to Central Florida, and then onwards down Highway 17 right through back to Punta Gorda, or home base as we like to refer to it as. It was a hot day. It was 230 miles. It was an excellent day, an event-filled trip, and overall a blast. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.